Good day, good day. Big up to everyone watching. It's your boy MarkN, MUFC fan, and you know what? I'm back after the Easter weekend. Didn't have a stream yesterday. Apologize to those that were looking out for one but didn't get one from me. But you know what? I was featuring on some streams, rattling myself off, maybe waffling at one or two times, but at the same time, it was basically a hype situation. I think everyone is being a little bit too overreactive. At the same time, guys, I welcome you. I welcome you today. I hope you're having a great day. It's the lunchtime hour after lunch, after having a bite. What are you guys thinking? Jason Wilcox resigns from Southampton to push a move to Manchester United, which has been done. Basically, a done deal. He's arriving imminently. What are your thoughts? Get in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking, guys, because it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a short show. Got some few guests possibly coming in. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, guys. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. You know what? And those of you watching on X, don't forget to shout out and give a retweet. Thanks so much in advance. Hope you guys are having a great day. And let's get into the show, people. Big up to you, y'all. Mean. Get your predictions done because the games are about to start very soon. I'm going to be inputting all the predictions for the Power Hour predictions. You can find that on the Power Hour the Power Hour community page, guys. Those of you who follow Football Power, or if you are just on my channel, guys, you can find it on my community page. Don't forget to leave your scores, predictions before the game starts. We will be putting them in. I will share the picture at the end of the stream as I probably get one of two of my guests to give their predictions live at the end right before we leave you. But as you're here, don't forget to smash the like, guys. Big up to all of you joining. Come in if you have the time. Let's talk about Jason Wilcox, and I'm gonna bring an article to the screen for those of you who don't know much about Jason Wilcox. This was going to be a brief summary of what he's done, so you can have an idea of why Manchester United wanted this guy so badly. Big up to you, Joe Blackman. Hope you're having a good day. Big up to Vegeta Sama. Hopefully you're gonna be in the building. Kenny Fan, the stream has started, bro. Where are you at? Are you coming in? Let me know what's going on. Big up to you. See, he popped in already. Big up to you, Shay. Hope you're having a great day. Pop. Oh man, before your movie starts, well, if you got time, man, hop in. The link is in the comments. I will pin it shortly. Hope you're having a good one yourself. The fact that these guys are actually leaving their post, something is brewing at United, and I know you're gonna talk about it because you're here, my brother. But let's just get into this article really quickly about Jason Wilcox. And you know what, guys? Let's react to this because it's gonna be a fun one today. Someone like they fell down the stairs, bro. That's crazy. Big up to you, Sachiv. Big up to you, Vachita. I'm just gonna go
Big
into
up,
the
Mark.
article
Big up,
really
Mark.
quickly so you guys
Hey,
could,
pick up, guys.
Yo,
but I'm
yo.
just wanted to welcome you to the stage. I didn't want to just keep you guys in the background.
Oh,
Hope you're
that's
having a
fine. That's
great
all
day
good.
yourself. Vegeta, you might want to turn up your mic a little bit, bro. I can't hear you too
Is it
well.
this better?
Yeah, that's much better, bro. Big up, big
Okay,
up.
sorry. New headsets.
Manchester United guys are making moves. Well, and this has already happened basically. The Red Devils' initial approach to 53-year-old came in the mid-February as David Ornstein of the Athletic reported United wanted him as part of their new sporting structure. Romano reported yesterday that Wilcox, who only joined the States from Manchester City last summer, has resigned from the club. Southampton weren't going to accept a fee for him from United, as the former Blackburn Rovers and Leeds United player looks all but set to return to Manchester. And Sky Sports' Mark McAdam had shed some light on why Man United have gone after Wilcox as part of the rebuild on the footballing side of the club. McAdam believes that the 53-year-old has links former City co-workers who are now going to be working in the red half of the city, has been the main reason for United's pursuit of the Southampton director of football. And if Omar was spearheading that idea, big things are coming, guys. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Man United have approached the Southampton regarding Wilcox. They want him to become their new technical director, and our information is that United has made an offer which was equivalent to a year's salary. There's only been down to the South Coast for 9 months. He's joined the club from Man City, and United believe that they have met the clause to get their man. However, one of these things that frustrated Southampton is not the only thing of timing of this, but that they're trying to build for a Premier League football club. They want to build an infrastructure behind the scenes that Wilcox has been leading, and that they obviously don't want to lose someone that is important for their back room. But as you can see, guys, Wilcox was already forced and resigned from his post. One of the reasons why there's a link and the interest is because of Omar Barada, who was the man at Man City and is going to join
Hmm.
United in the
Yeah,
summer.
that is a very key possibility on why he wanted to come to United
100%. And
because
Berarda has been appointed as United next chief executive officer after leaving the Citizens, who he has helped massively on and off the pitch during his time as the chief of footballing
hmm,
operations officer for the club City Football Group. We know that this forms just one part of what a complete rebuild and recruitment structure at Man United when Sir Jim Ratcliffe went to Old Trafford would be. Not only did he want to have full control over football operations, but he wanted to rebuild and restructure. That means new chief executive with Barada, new sporting director, and Wilcox would also feature in this new look setup. The timing of Wilcox news is awful for Southampton. The club hopes of automatic promotion to the Premier League were severely damaged last night by the loss to Ipswich Town. Jeremy Sarmiento poked home the last minute winner for the Tractor Boys, and the Saints are now 11 points behind the top three. The news of Wilcox's seeming imminent departure broke around the time of the game, and it compounded all the disappointment that everyone associated with the Saints will have already felt from the late loss to Ipswich. Guys, that's just a little bit of information there on what is happening. Now, let me hear what your thoughts are. I know you are saying something, Kenny. Big up to you. Let me know what's going on.
shout out to everyone in the chat, and especially shout out to Pav as well in the chat. He said that I'm just gonna drop a like before my movie starts. And by the way, the movie that he was gonna watch is Godzilla and Kong. I basically came back. I just came back from that movie.
Oh, cool, cool.
I came back from the movie.
Well, I'm probably gonna watch that a bit later myself. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah,
It's just one
you
of
should
those
watch it.
movies that you have to see, bro. You just have to see it. So, the link is pinned in the description, guys. So, mental, if you want to come in, don't be afraid, my brother. You can come in. So, Vegeta, has you finished with the mic, bro?
He's still. I think he's saying he's still sorting out his mic. I think.
Mm.
But anyways, for the Jason Wilcox thing, all I know it was like he was a former he was a former city head of recruitment. So I felt like there is a lot of good news coming in, but I've just yet to see what they're absolutely gonna do in the summer. And my only just worry is that the Glazers are that the owners that we want them to be out of there are the Glazers. So that's the only slight worry that I just have it.
Yeah, yeah, big up to that, Sachiv. Big up to that for sure, my brother. And to be fair, bro, like there has to be something brewing. And as much as, for some of us, we wanted a full sale only. Like my buddy GB, good morning to you, bro. And hats off to you, Superfly. Hope you're having a good one. And at the same time, when you look at Omar Barada coming in, it's something positive. It's just like that situation where, you can enjoy or look the possibility of what's going to come. You know what I mean? We could talk about the fact that the game this weekend was not really a display that we would all like to see. At the same time, it's like one of those things where we all pretty much knew it was coming, and it's not based. And we can only say that it's not truly based on only the manager, based on past experiences with these players' performance even before he was
Hmm.
here. So in one of those things, when you hear Jason Wilcox is coming in, and you have an Omar Barada making decisions. Big up to you, Malcolm Ball, mental ball game, my brother. How you doing?
Mandible games, big up, man.
And it's one of those things where you just think about it, like what is possibly going to happen going forward. Are we going to finally get that structure? Boom. And then some fans might be saying, like, guys like me are overly pessimistic or overly optimistic about Ten Hag and blindly having the faith. But I'm thinking about it in retrospect of he came from a club with a top structure that had everything going on in the back room
Absolutely.
on a competitive level. I won't say elite, but top class, guaranteed.
Top
Because
class level, for real.
because some people might say, Ajax is just Ajax in the Dutch league. So for me, I'm not gonna be discriminatory because at the end of the day, for me, I look at football as the top teams. They all play in the Champions League, and once you play in the Champions
Yeah,
League, when you beat teams in the Champions League, you're of one of the ilk of the top teams in the world of football, because that's where all the football is. And I'm from the
mm,
Caribbean, mate, so you already know. You know what I mean? It's a whole different world for me. But at the same time, the top level of football is in Europe. So if you're in Europe, the Champions Cup, you're in the top of the echelon. You know what I'm saying? So I'll
mm,
just keep it brief on that. But I'm liking the news of WILCOX. We know what he can do in recruitment. We know his policies across various clubs. Not only that, but at Man City, how what he has done there, and it's been amazing. And like I've been telling a lot of people, all under 15s or under 18s or under 16s, they've been doing very well for themselves in that expansive attacking style that they've been retrofitted with last season. And maybe the under
yeah,
20s, which are the second the reserve team, basically, they're not having such a great time because, as we know, most of those players were developed in a through a time period at the club where we're playing more counter attacking football, more good vibes, and wasn't really based on a full structure. So they had structure in probably in attack or in and patterns and stuff like that, but maybe in a different way. And maybe they reached a point where most of them would like to continue playing in that way. So you can be sure that you'll be seeing a lot of those players from the under 20 team this season that is fifth from bottom, leave the club. So it's one of those things. But let me get right into it. I'll drop Vegeta in because I know he was waiting a while. Come, let's hear what you have to say, my bro. Big up to you, and then
Can
mental.
you
I'll,
guys
I'll bring
maybe
you
hear
in
me now?
after.
yeah. Perfect. Yeah,
Okay, sorry. You know what's
go for
crazy? I
it.
got like a new headset and I got a mic. So trying to make these things work is a bit. But I thought since I'm joining your calls, I might as well improve my equipment. Anyway, I'm not gonna pretend like Kenny said to know these people, but the one thing that I've noticed in the pattern is that one, these guys are not gonna be bullied, right? Because you can see with the Dan Ashworth thing, these guys dropped what like 50 mil, and they're like, "Let's take it or leave it." They think this is the old United where we're gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, we want your guy. He has 50." No, 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 no. Your guy has already proved that he wants us. You've played your move. You've played your hand. So you're either gonna give us what we want, or you're gonna keep paying for somebody who doesn't want to be there. That's the pattern I'm noticing. These guys actually want to come here, so something must be happening at United.
Yeah, cool be.
Mental, what's up, bro? Let me know what you're saying.
Big up, guys. Big up. Good to see you all again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm just happy and excited that proper football people are finally coming to United, man. It's way more than Glazers have done in the last decade, so it can only be good for us. And I'm happy that they're bringing this guy in. I don't know much about this guy, but I'm assuming he can do part of the job that
Yeah,
Dan Ashworth does. So maybe that'll help us getting Dan Ashworth quickly as well, because Newcastle won't have the strong hand in the negotiations there if we've got this guy handling our summer window this time. Even if we don't bring Dan Ashworth as quickly as we wanted to, we'll have someone capable handling our transfer business. So I'm just excited that some movement is happening, some proper football people are being put in place. And as you said, Mark, I think it'll definitely help Ten Hag, because he's used to work under a structure where he doesn't have to manage everything and scout and negotiate and everything. So I think he'll definitely get some help, and hopefully we see some of his coaching now coming up on the pitch as well, now that his mind will be free to do that.
100%. And like you're saying,
true.
mental, it's one of those things. I'm gonna just leave you on the main for a second, bro. I want to ask you a question as well because it's one of those things. I don't really know Wilcox that well, But from what I've known about him, and when I say about him, because I've seen some things that they've been doing, and I've been hearing a lot because my little brother plays for the PSG Academy, so I've been trying to get him
Okay,
across there
wow.
to have some, to get a look in somehow. So I've been, asking about and trying to figure out when is open tryouts, for, if there's some football factory there that you could drop them in for a month and they get looked at by scouts for various, whether it be League Two or whatever, just to get him in. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things. So for me, when I hear about him, I heard about him before and his recruitment policies, what he's done, how he aims to recruit players and these things. And I feel like it's something that's very decent minded in the sense it's not like that vicious way. You know what I mean? That you've heard about from some players, they get scouted way too early. They go against, they use loopholes to get these youngsters into the club. I've not heard that about him, and that makes me a little bit comfortable
Mm,
because you want everyone to have a fair chance. You want everybody to work above the table rather than around it in that regard. So when you look at him coming in next to Omar Barada, they haven't worked together previously. You'd see there would be some form of tacit understanding between them in the way they want to do things. And I could only see it being a benefit for the current manager we have. For those of you thinking maybe we should get a brand new manager as well, I'm just asking this one question. Is there going to be a time period where this manager will have to assess the squad before we could get the clear out happening? And if that's going to happen, how does that affect the clear out that we want to get this summer? What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I think they'll have to assess the squad as a team. See, Ten Hag has had 2 years to assess the squad, so he pretty much knows which players can play his system and which players can't. And now with Ashworth and Wilcox coming in and Berarda, they'll have to all sit down together, and they'll have to look at the financials as well, right? Because Ten Hag might say Rashford doesn't fit my system, but if there's no one who's willing to pay his astronomical wages, then we can't really sell him to another club. So he might be forced to keep some of those players because of those reasons. Similar with Sancho as well.
wages because of the high wages thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, high wages. So yeah, I think they'll have to work as a team. But the good thing is that people coming in, Barada, Ashworth, Wilcox, they've been in these situations before. They're not like bankers that we've had dealing with these situations earlier,
Yeah.
who just look at the Excel sheet and look at the bottom line and say, "Oh, this will save us few pounds here, so let's make that decision." These guys have made decisions looking at the footballing abilities of the players as well and how we can succeed on the pitch. So if they work as a team, and as Yale and Compost are discussing in the chat as well, it might not all happen this summer. It might take time. It might be January before we
Yeah.
see some of those things happening, or maybe next summer. We don't know how long
Could
Ashworth
be.
takes to
Yeah.
get in. Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll be a collaborative effort, but at least I'm glad that we've got some people who have football knowledge and who can go in the market and negotiate. Every club will not pull our pants down anymore and
Mhm.
charge
Yeah.
astronomical fees for average players. I'm just happy about that.
Hey, Mark, can I just come in
Yo,
here as well, just to add on to what he's saying?
go ahead, bro.
This is why I was saying, when people are saying get the manager out, one of Omar's key roles as a CEO is to develop a football strategy that aligns with what the club is trying to do as a whole, both on and off the pitch. And if you're gonna get rid of the manager before you've done that assessment, like Minto was saying, you're kind of working backwards. You know what I mean? You kind of have to start at the beginning to say where we are right now, where do we need to be, and then how do we need to get there before we even start looking at the manager. That's why I kind of like the way Ineos has done things, to say, let's park things for a bit. Yes, it's bad, but it's not the end of the world. Let's put in the people in place that need to be in place, because what we had before was a joke. And like I said, we would have been doing crazy things right now with that same structure if we were like trying to get directors of football. I mean, look who's our technical director right now. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? So I like the approach that Ineos is having, to say, let's fix stuff at the top, because at the end of the day, in any organization, it starts from the top and it trickles down to the bottom, not the other way around. That's why you kind of need to have the right people at the top first, and then you start looking at what is on the ground and start working there. So this is a really good strategy
Hmm.
from Ineos's perspective.
100%. John. Big up, my
Big up,
bro.
John.
What's good? What's good? What's good?
What's
So
up?
Um,
you
What's
hear
up?
what we were
What's up?
talking
Shout out to
about?
you on the shout out to you on the DR Sports.
Big up,
It was
John.
John
John
on the
was
DR Sports.
savage on DR Sports this morning, but
DR Sports settings,
before
bro.
we joke about him being savage, because I can't unsee her expression after she heard that I never know what it is to feel a title. KG with a bombastic side eye to that, it's crazy. Like I swear, KG and you scripted it for a second, but then I realized, it's John, man. That was just John. You know what I'm saying?
Just a
Big
reckless
up to you,
delegate.
bro.
That's
At
what
the
We
he said.
same time, bro, just what I don't know if you were listening before, but we were
I
talking
was.
about what Wilcox has done, and he's imminent. His arrival is probably in a matter of days. He's gonna start take up the post, and for one, I think even if we don't have Dan Ashworth coming in right now at the moment, I still feel like his impact with Barada is still going to be an improved transfer situation as to what we had before. Definitely.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, like the main thing. Sorry, man. My baby just woke up.
All good, bro.
no, that's all good.
Apologies.
Yeah, that's all
That's all
Apologies.
good,
good,
bro.
bro.
Catch you later, man. Yo, Mental, I know you have to drop out. If there's anything else you want to say right before you go,
No, no, I'm just excited, man, that there's something happening eventually. We are getting people who know about football. So let's hope it brings good results on the pitch as well. Maybe not this year, but hopefully next year we'll see some good football and some good results.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. She just woke up for some reason.
Big up,
Uh,
guys. I'll see you on the next stream. Cheers, guys.
big up,
Cheers,
bro.
mental.
Big up,
Cheers,
bro.
mental, bro.
Submental. So yeah, I heard what we were speaking about, and I reiterate what Mental said. I think he said that he's happy with um the fact that these new football people or these football people coming into the club. I think that cannot be understated. And I mean, for me personally, I don't know. I don't know who this person is that's coming in. So I can't say he's going to revolutionize or whatever. But what I can say at the moment is that it seems like everything is going according to the way Sejam and Ineos wanted to go. Um, in a sense of we're not going to waste time. We're not going to be held to ransom by clubs that want compensation fees and all these different things. We're going to move forward, even if we can't get Dan Ashwood over the line. We're going to move forward with regards to a different person that we want. And I think if this is a blueprint of how we're going to sign players and how we're going to do business, I think that's excellent because oftentimes we find ourselves in this position where we're going after one player, but we can't get that player, or there's a problem with negotiation. So we stop and we negotiate until we get that player, and then we move on to the next one. Where I feel like at the moment with Berarda, with Ashworth, with this new guy now, if there's people that they identified, and even though the Dan Ashworth is not over the line, and even though they don't know when Omar Barada is going to start, they're still getting the targets that they want. They're still getting it simultaneously while they're still negotiating, while they're still, So it's kind of a more efficient way of working. So from that perspective, I'm pretty like um how do you say chuffed. Well, I'm pretty pleased because at the end of the day, like we have to realize that this rebuild from an Ineos perspective is not going to happen overnight, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
But the
definitely.
more efficient we get with deals, the more efficient we get with bringing in people that the best in quality, as they say, the more efficient we get with that, the quicker we can get to the goal where we are dominating again and we're winning trophies and titles. So I don't know. For me personally, I asked the question if he's going to be ahead of recruitment. Mark, you've been very vocal about the fact that um our academy teams is doing well. I don't just want that apple cart to be upset because if our academy team is doing well, then um we bring in a new guy. What kind of dynamic is that going to have on the different academy that we have, on the different players that we have in the academy? Sorry, you feel me?
Do you know what it is, John? I think as long as the guys upstairs are aligned on their football strategy and Ten Hag is part of that, because remember, Ten Hag has been a part of the big change that's happened at a academy level. He's
Mm.
had a lot of influence there. So if these guys are all aligned and Ten Hag is still here, which I hope he is, then I don't think too much changes. It's just carrying on the work that Ten Hag was supposed to do, but he couldn't because of the lack of structure that we didn't have before. That's how I see it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Man, Mark, you're muted if you're talking,
MarkN's
buddy.
on mute.
Yes.
My bad, bro. Big up, big up. No, I kind of see it just like Vegeta, if you understand what I'm saying, because at the same time, yes, I know I want him to come in as a recruiter, but think about it. We're not only just going to be recruiting young talent, we're going to be recruiting signings for the first team. And his mold is to be sport director of sport, right? An
Mm.
assistant
Yeah,
to Dan Ashworth as well. So basically, if that's the case, then he's probably going to come in and help deal with the players that we're going to be recruiting this summer. And
Mm.
since his arrival is imminent, and as Yali is just brought to my attention here, Barada starts on the 7th or the 8th of July, guys.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
So he,
and that's seven
yeah,
that's
to
great.
eight days after the transfer window open.
yeah.
And the way I've seen some of the things that happen at some of the City Groups club when I look online about news, and they're pretty efficient, right? And yeah, we know we have players going on international duty because it's going to be the Euros, but there are lots of players who go into the Copa, you know, and these kind of things. But players before they leave, they could already be getting letters saying, "Hey, you're up for sale." You know what I mean? Play your ass
Yeah.
off because that's going to
Mm.
determine who club comes in to buy you because you're on the market. So I'm just hoping that with the player sales that we get, I'm hoping for at least four. And I'm saying that because I already know there's Ericsson is probably leaving. Martial contract is done, and we're not
Yeah.
renewing Amrabat's contract. So that's
Amrabat is
three
going as
players
well, so
out the
that's
door.
three. Three, yeah.
So if we get
I
those three
y-
players out the door, bro, then let's just say from remember I did a video a few weeks ago with five young players that Ten Hag is looking at in the range of 19 to 21, right? Two defenders, this youngster Fai, he's from Senegal. He was playing in
mm,
AFCON, did really well. He plays left back or left center back, and he's very good on the ball, right? He's 6'1", and he's only like 19. And then there's
mm,
another one, Ansel
Okay.
Mino, who's coming from Boca Juniors. Like now, these guys' price tags are within the region of 17 to 20 million,
15 to
21.
20 million. Yeah,
You
around
understand?
that.
And I'm thinking about it. If you have a Jason Wilcox coming in, this makes sense because we're not going to spend big. We might have a marquee signing, or you know what I mean. But what if we take 100 million and we divide that into 4 or 5 players, bro? That does much more for the team in terms of
Absolutely.
profile and like for like replacement when it comes to who could come into the first team. And let's not forget, guys, like I keep saying, this is the year two of a rebuild. And as much as some people would think that we should be competing this year, bro, Liverpool didn't do that shit. Arsenal didn't do that shit.
Yeah.
Maybe City did it, but they did it with lots of money and what people say is the best coach. You know what I'm saying? And we've
mm.
seen the best coach scrape a win against United, scratching his head for 60 minutes because they were down 1-0 at the Emirates. You know what I mean? I mean,
Mm.
at the
Yeah.
empty had whichever one of those stadiums it is, you know what I mean? At the same time, I don't go there. So basically, I'm just saying it like this, right? We got these players in a situation where there's some players we know we've been talking about this for season upon season. We need to get these guys out of here.
Mm.
So if we get a good recruiter who has a good policy, it may not upset the U team, but it may bring competition because like I could tell you, if it is there's one U team that's gonna be probably sold a lot of players leave the club is going to be the under 21s, right?
But Mark, for me, right? Like I hear what you're saying, and for me, I'm very nervous when it comes to departures this year. For one, we don't sell players, and I know that Omar Berarda is going to be starting on the 7th of July, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we have players on astronomical wages, players that on wages that people don't want to pay, and players don't want to leave because of that. All right, so That's the one issue that we have. So the problem I have at the moment with the fact that we can't sell players is another thing of if we sell too many players, what does that do to Ten Hag's rebuild that he is already 2 years into?
I mean,
Be-
a rebuild is
because
nothing without outgoings, eh, John. Like you can't have a rebuild with only bringing
through
players in. You have to cut.
through
You have to cut somebody. You have to cut somebody flesh
I
because
agree. I agree, Mark. But what I'm saying is that Ten Hag has been, for me personally, Ten Hag has started this rebuild 2 years ago. All
yeah,
right.
he did, but we didn't have no exits, bro. Remember, he had to assess the squad. It had no real preseason that season because two things: the World Cup was early that year, and basically any manager coming in that season would have had to utilize most of the squad based on what was happening in transfers. So yeah, I understand. I don't want to upset the apple cart, but the recruitment at the end of the day, if you look at the performance of the under 21s, they're fifth from the bottom of the league, right? That squad, that particular squad, gonna be rebuilt by the current under 18 squad and those youngsters from the under 18s who are already training with the first team, right? There are more youngsters from the under 18s training with the first team than there are youngsters from the under 21s. Or you understand that? Is when you have like
Yeah.
three players from the under 21s, as an Italian young striker, a midfielder, and Collier, right? So the rest, everybody else come from the under 18s. So if we was to recruit young players, let me say between 17 to 9 to 20, they will be falling into a team that will be being rebuilt, which is the under 21s. And if we were
Mm,
to recruit smartly in the window with players who might not be costing in the region of 30, 40 million, but maybe like 20 plus million, maybe at 24, 23, 24, we that's good dealings, right? And if this guy coming in as the assistant to Dan Ashwood, then we know he go and deal with recruitment as well for the first team. So my concern is that we need to sell players, and yes, we are not a good selling club, but with this new policy coming in, the new structure coming in, who's to say that all that don't change in the wind? Because let's be
Mm.
realistic, PSG is definitely going to replace certain players, and whether or not we make that big of a profit, it's pure profit any dollar that we sell Rashford for. So if we sell him for 50 to compensate for the to compensate, I just giving an example, bro. If we
mm.
sell him for 50 to compensate for his wage bill, bro, he gone. He's the first player
Rashford's not
gone.
going anywhere, Mark.
No,
Mark Rashford
we can
is
say
not
that, but
going
let me
anywhere.
be real. Let me be real and be real. Let me be really real, bro. Look at this entire season. There's not been one, maybe two. Let me say apart from two performances for me that I've seen, there's not any other performances this season that says to me he deserves not to be sold first.
But you see, for me, right? Okay, the reason why I say he's not going to be sold, and I don't know what you think, Vegeta, but the reason why I say he's not going to be sold is because the brand Marcus Rashford is heavier than the player Marcus Rashford, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So he signed a new contract. The manager loves him. The club loves him. The country loves him. Everybody loves Marcus
And
Rashford.
we don't, yeah, but now be
And the
real, not
fans is
everybody,
just,
bro. The fans, we
yeah, but the
understand.
fans is
This has
frustrated.
nothing
The
to do
thing
with
is,
England, bro. This has
yeah, I
everything to do with
agree.
the club.
But not just, yeah, me. I agree that the fans is frustrated. But you see what Sir Jim is doing with this Brexit situation that is going on. A lot of the people that he's bringing in that is identified is of English nationality, right? So selling a commodity like a Marcus Rashford is goes because I mean there's going to be six of fans who's going to be unhappy because remember he's mank, brawn and bred as they sing. You see, and if you look at output, they can look at last season and say, how come he scored 30 goals last season and he's only scoring maybe 15 goals this season?
All right,
You can
but
look at that question,
you
you
can
know.
look at that, but let me do an actual sample size, right? The actual sample size should be something like what has he been doing for the last 8 seasons, not like what he did last season alone. Because if we look at the last 8 seasons, only 4 years ago he had a similar season that was similar. I want to say similar, same amount of goals scored in the Premier League, right? And about the same amount of assists, 17
Mm.
goals in the Premier League, 11 assists, right? And when I say that, I mean, are we going to wait another 3 seasons to get that? Now, at the same time, I agree the manager does like him. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where the manager does like the player, you know, the England loves him. There are lots of fans that love him. But the same could be said for one or two other players in the starting lineup that, for me, no player is safe. Bruno
Mm.
and all could get sold. You understand what I'm saying? And I was a Bruno fan, defense league number
Yeah.
one. So I keeping it real, my brother. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like these guys, at some point in time, they are going to leave us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The only thing we have for sure guaranteed next year, the year after that, 5 years down the road is Manchester United, my bro. That crest. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
Kobe and Garnacho.
and yeah, possibly Kobe and Garnacho and a Hoylund, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you
Uh,
might even be seeing a young a young Shea Lacey bursting down the wings, a Ethan Whitley running in as a second striker. You know what I mean? Now Gunnar E coming in, Kwambala in defense. I would like to see these things.
Can I
And the
just weigh in on a
reality
few
is
things?
that as fans, we have to progress. And at some point, this is exactly what I want to say because, like people seem to feel like I dislike Rashford. I actually like him. I rate him. I might not rate him as highly as others might rate him, but I like him. But the problem for me is that as the player that stands as the definition of what we call the talisman of
Point
Manchester
that, guys.
United. Where is the talismaniac type performances? It not coming week in, week out. It coming 1 week a month, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's not good enough, bro.
Hmm.
You understand? And to be very fair, for a player that who we know is not the creative type that will create with assists for a striker that we have, that is lacking service. He's not even scoring 20 goals a season to make up on average. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, bro, like, no, whether or not we sell him or not, that's not my choice. That's the club choice. And their review that they're doing all season long since they confirmed for the last half of this season will determine what they decide to do. And if from what I read about certain players and about these guys behind the scenes, especially Mr. Berarda, he a ruthless type of guy. You know what I mean? And he's back himself on his decision. So you never know what could happen. And I just want everyone to have an open mind to whoever it is going to be sold, shall be sold, bro. No complaints from the fans. Should have any complaints. Whether it's your favorite player or is not your favorite player. Because at the end of the day, it has to happen. We can't have a rebuild without exits, bro. And whether we have 10 exits from the first team or we have 5, we need that. We could see it week in, week out. And that is the biggest problem for me. When we're looking at the football, we see in multiple players not giving, and supposedly the best players, highest paid players, not giving that basic level of effort and energy. You know what I mean? Like I kind of reach a point where I tired blaming our manager for a player lack of effort, bro. Like, like at the end of the day, as a your own personal work ethic, everybody here on the panel are sure have a job, has something that they have to do personally and be responsible for themselves. And you have to have a good ethic about it. You have to be hard and dedicated. You have to give it 110% if you want to see any results. So when
mm.
people say to me, is the manager for all these players showing that level of commitment? I could never sit with that. That could never rest with me. Because then I would be saying, I'm a drone. Me, I am also a drone. If my manager don't program me right, I can't function.
Mm.
Where
What
my
are you saying,
USB
Vegeta?
connector cable, bro? I looking for it. I ain't find it yet. I just saying. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know, bro. Big up to you too, Wally. But what you guys had to say.
Yeah.
Vegeta, you was quiet for a little while. I know if you or Kenny have something to say. Which one?
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I think it's just about time to sell Rashford this season, man, because I know for a fact that it's a club's choice whether to sell Rashford or not. But like for me as an open-minded opinion um guy in this panel, this is the right time to sell Rashford, in my honest opinion. PSG, you gotta come calling. Just 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 sell him. I've seen him all over eight seasons. He's not been consistently good enough to even play for this big club. So, and then Scott McTominay, all those draws players, we have to progress ASAP.
Yeah,
immediately.
big facts, Chiv. Like I being honest when I say it, bro. Like I like I don't care who it is, bro. But I just want to see 5 players from the first team get sold in the summer, bro. And I'm hoping there's 5 players from who have some of the longest tenure at the club. You know what I mean? I've been honest. Players who are here plus 2, 3, or 4 seasons. No player who just come here in the last 18 months, bro. Everybody else, yeah, let me start with them first because this is just my thing, bro.
Yo, Mark, I
Sometimes
didn't.
you could
Yo,
change, but
yo,
you
Mark,
have to
I
want
didn't.
to change.
Yo, Mark, I didn't actually realize that like Luke Shaw actually signed for us in 2014. I thought he signed in 2017.
Nah, Luke Shaw is the most senior player in our squad, bro. Been here 10
Oh, Luke
years.
Shaw. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Luke Shaw is the most senior player in the squad, and after Luke Shaw is Marcus Rashford. Been here 9 seasons. So
Oh, yeah.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Like, bro, like at the same time, Luke Shaw for me is a issue at the same time because
hmm,
basically he's one of those players that you know I think he's injured way too much. You know what I mean for
way
the
a
for
lot.
what
Yeah.
the out for what he's provide, and it's just one of those things where we can't be heavily dependent on one player who probably on average is barely going to play 15 to 20 games in a row, and we need
Hmm.
more. We need an average of at least 25 games a season from every player, at least the starting 11, because that with 25 games under their belt, that literally puts in you in top 4 every season. You know what I mean? It's almost as though we guaranteed to get top 4 because 25 games for sure we could look at and possibly be looking at wins. The rest when these players either need to get rest or they're unavailable for other reasons, we could try to push through and see whatever results we get. At the end of the day, I just look at football like life. And in life, nothing changes at the snap of a finger unless it's failure. Because it could go from doing really well and make a bad decision and fail. But when you're trying to do better, it's usually come with extra work and hard work, and sometimes it might have a detour along the road and a bump or a hurdle to go over because it's not always easy. You know what I mean? So I just look at it like, listen, we might have had 2 years under this manager at this point. The first year was good, the second year not so good. But in all honesty, you could nobody can't really deny that they don't see improvement in at least 5 to 10 players that the manager didn't buy that playing week in week out or playing during the course of the last 2 seasons, and nobody can deny that the manager has. You could see that when we play well and the team has put the effort in and they follow the tactics, the team perform well and the performances are good. So I say that it have more positives than negatives because I don't blame a manager for signing a player for 90 million, especially if they flop, because at the end of the day he's not the one doing the recruitment. He just telling them, listen, I need this type of player, or I may need this player. And especially when we know for a fact that if the club had moved sooner and did the business early, they would have been signed sooner or signed earlier. Because it not happening like we know the manager had a short list since May 4th, 2021, excuse me, guys. And
Yeah.
we never signed players until July and August when the
Hmm.
prices doubled. So, sometimes it had to make sense. And while we could blame him for signing Anthony for 90 million and maybe signing one or two other players, Amrabat coming in might not have impressed much people. People might not even be impressed with Casemiro, to be fair. I've heard it before. Some people might think Leach still too short. So for me, when I look at that, I just be saying, like, some managers is get it wrong. Now, they might say he had get more wrong, but when you look at other managers like Arteta, like Pep, like Klopp, their average signings for 2 seasons in their first 2 seasons was above 20 players. I just want people to know. Whether they pay 5 million or they pay 15 million, they sign more than 10 players, which is almost double what our manager has signed. You know what I mean? Because our manager signed, what, 12 players over the course of his tenure here. We're not counting the loans, we're talking about the permanent signings. Something
Yeah.
like that, about closest to 10 or something like that. So for me, we ain't bring in enough players. Second, we ain't get rid of enough players. And that's just me.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I was just away for a moment, but can I just weigh in on a few things we've already said in this chat? I think the first thing is we need to remember Sir Jim's own words when he said he expects to challenge in 2 or 3 years. That kind of gives you a feel of how long they think it will take to sort of filter most of this team. Like we say, we can't be getting rid of too many players, which you rightly said, John. I think that's why we need that 2 to 3 year period so that we can filter out players while we're putting players in, and that also gives the manager enough time to then start working on his team with the right people around him. So that's the first thing we need to take into account. And I think with young players, I know we like having young people break into the first team, but from a strategic point of view, you have to look at teams like Chelsea and City, where they not all their young players make it to the first team, but they do make a lot of money when they let go of them. So that might be another avenue to bring in more money to kind of balance out the FFP. So maybe that's another strategy they're looking at,
Mhm.
to say that we're not gonna promote everybody, but the youth we do get rid of, we're gonna get a handsome fee for it, not the 1 millions that we're letting, Yuzidan Ekbals for. We're not going to be doing that anymore. So unfortunately, the reality is not everybody in the youth is going to get in, and that should be okay with us, because the first team
Uh,
should be the elite of the elite, not just because you came through our academy you got to make it. No, you have to be the creme de la creme, like your Kobe Mano, in order to make it from, you know. Because I know we always talk about our rich history with young players, but if you look at the actual young players that have broke through, those kids are special people. It's not anybody who can do what these kids have done, from the class of 92 to your Kobe Minos. These are special people. These are
mm,
people that look at Wayne Rooney at Everton at the age of 18. So these are not ordinary players that made it through from their academies to come and play first team football. You get what I mean? So I think sometimes we shouldn't be too fixated on the transition from youth team to first team. Sometimes it's just business. Maybe that guy's not good enough for United, but he's good enough for Everton, and we make money from him. And I think that's not a bad strategy. And another reason why we will need the 2 to 3 years is because, like I said, these guys have to form a strategy they all agree with, implement it. Then we can start seeing if we're reaping the rewards or if they still some short fall short, where we're falling short with the strategy, so they can fix it. Because we're looking at 10 years of decay. We almost have to really burn down the house to rebuild it again. You know, sometimes when you're fixing something, it's not worth fixing it. You just have to burn it down and start again, and that's what these guys are almost needing to do, unfortunately. So those
mm.
are all the things we need to take into consideration when we're looking at this summer. I know we're all excited, but I think we also need to taper our expectations a little bit, because ffp has
Absolutely.
become ffp has become a really serious thing, clearly,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not just in England but across Europe. That's why
across for you.
those rumors you're hearing about the 20 millions, the people we're not used to. It's because of the FFP, and it's forcing
Mm.
clubs to become a little bit smarter. So we're not always going to get the marquee signing. Sometimes we're going to get the guy who's got potential we haven't heard of, but that's why we've got a scouting network. It's their job to actually go and watch other football leagues and find the diamonds in the rough for Eric to come in and polish for our team.
Yeah, and at the same
100%.
time, if you think about like the market out there, like the young players that we have now, for me personally, I get a bit nervous when we speak about the players that we have and then the young players that must come into this kind of culture, because as you could see on the weekend against Brentford, our young players was impacted negatively by the culture that we have. So for me, it's more like I kind of agree with what Mark is saying, in a sense of we need to sell players, but how much players can we sell before it becomes a negative? Because remember that these people that's going to be involved in the club now is going to do things, as they say, best business practice. So they're going to do things in the best interest of Manchester United. Now, doing things in the interest of Manchester United can become dangerous because you now doing things in the best interest of 5 years from now, or you're doing things in the best interest of maybe a year or two from now. And that for me is a bit of a sticky one because as fans, we impatient. As fans, we can't wait for celebration, for trophies, for results, for performances, right? So, for example, we take a Brentford result that happened on the weekend, and all of a sudden it's crisis. We so horrible. We outcoached. We out this. We out that. Everything is wrong with the club. When if you take that result in isolation and you look at the mitigating factors, yes, we didn't perform well. There was players that literally didn't show up at all. But it was international break the day before. There's still players that is good in our team. Everybody's not bad. So like if we're going to sell, then we need to sell properly. And if we're going to buy, they need to be scouted properly. And you need to really sit them down and be like, brother, you coming to this club. You need to understand what happens at this club. Open Twitter. If I'm United, open Twitter and open the comment section of a player. For example, Harry Maguire in 2021. Open Harry Maguire's comment section and you show this player, this is what you will go through, the abuse you will endure if you don't perform. Are you ready for it? Are you mentally prepared for this kind of backlash if you make a mistake against Liverpool, if you make a mistake against Arsenal, if you do something wrong? Are you able to handle it? And if you're not, tell us so that we don't waste your time and we don't end your career because this club can end careers, bro. Literally, we ended Mkhitaryan's career. We ended some Alexis Sanchez's career. We've ended
Sanchez.
careers.
Sancho's career is over before
Sancho
now.
Bro,
career.
that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Stop, stop. Yeah, I can't let you get rid of Alexis Sanchez coming there, bro. Bro, take that back, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Swear.
But you
Alexis
know what?
Sanchez.
Sanchez should have never
I mean,
come to this club,
Sanchez.
brother. He,
But he
Sanchez
was
shouldn't have
cooking
actually.
before. He
bro,
was
listen to
cooking
me.
at Arsenal.
This is the thing where I like to talk to fans about. Not because a player cooking in our next club mean he go and cook at yours. You have to
Yeah,
look at
that's
Let's
what.
put some
the
focus.
mitigating circumstances of players like Mkhitaryan and Sanchez. In my opinion, bro, I swear to goodness, I thought we was going crazy behind the two of them fellas, bro. In my
Yeah.
opinion, bro. Listen, now understand what I'm saying, bro. For what they do in their club, yeah, you have to look at the players around them, right? Then you have to look at the players we have at our club. We had at the time. We didn't have players who depended on those two players as much as they were depended on by the teams that they were coming from. Our players all think they are top class, bro. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
nobody not looking for Sanchez to be the man. Nobody not looking for Mkhitaryan to do everything in midfield. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but I
when
think
they
you're
come
missing the
from
point though.
no, but I trying to explain you something. I just saying, like I understand your point on the fact that our club could end careers, our fan base. If bro, I be on Twitter, bro. The fan bases be destroying on Twitter,
Yeah,
and it's strong.
I think the
I
main
always
problem.
brag about it, bro. The fan base is 500 million strong, and that is as good as a positive as it is a negative when players perform badly. So obviously we know. Look at what happened to Palestri, bro. Look at what happened to Garnacho after the first two games of the season. People don't talk about it. You know,
Mm.
lots of fans went and dig in on Garnacho. Oh, he's average, not good
They were
enough.
slating the hell out of Garnacho.
You understand?
I
And look at him now, bro. Strong
Mm.
mental, came back. You know, this is why people might be mad, bro. As I go and mention it, let me just bring up this article one time to get them pissed off because here why I want them to be mad, right?
go for it,
Because
Gopal.
they're playing mad and they don't listen to the reality of what's going on in the world here. So I just wanted to show
Of
them
course,
what going to happen because I've been telling man about it for the longest while and men playing mad. Right? So look, check this out, right? Manchester United likely to extend Mason Greenwood contract. And this going to happen for one or two reasons. One, it possibly could happen because they might be planning to bring him back. Two, they want to make sure they can get top dollar for him while possibly giving him a second season in La Liga. Now, a lot of people might be mad at this situation, but
man.
listen, I not saying that we should be mad at him or he should be back at the club. I'm just saying look at his mentality and because people feel that because he's not in England, he's not suffering abuse. He's suffering mad amounts of abuse in Spain, bro. Almost likely to the same amount that he's suffering would be suffering in United. And the only reason I bring up this article is because at the end of the day, in reality, he's a Manchester United player. And at the end of the day, you know, he's the type of player that we would love to have someone just like come into the club because of what he could do and what his ability is and what he could bring to the table, his output, his creativity, his skill on both sides of his feet. You know what I mean? So we need a player like this. Whether or not it's gonna be him or it's gonna be a other player, that's all left up to the decision of the new owners and the new structure that coming behind Ten Hag. But if we're being
Yeah,
realistic as fans, it's either we're going to trust them to make the decisions or we want to also be making the decisions ourselves. And
that's
this
what I was
is
about
why
to say. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad you say that, Mark, because I think the one thing that the football world is seeing is waiting to see rather is how United will move. They want to know, are they going to be the same United that will play delaying tactics? They don't know their head
Yeah.
from their ass. I think it's up to United to throw down the gauntlet and to show people how they are going to be moving forward as a club. And if we see something like breaking news, Marcus Rashford signs for PSG, it tells the footballing world that hey, these guys mean business.
Yeah, they're
When we
serious. Yeah.
see, yeah, you know what I mean. So it's up
Mm.
to us to throw down the gauntlet and to show people how we're gonna move. And I think that's what most of the footballing world is waiting for this summer to see.
Bruv, I want to see cojones. I want to see attitude.
Pause.
I want to see,
Pause.
look, bro. I telling you the truth, bro. I want to see the United of all, bro. I don't know about you, man, right? But as a youth man growing up in the Caribbean and I watching United games and seeing what happened and the type and the players and how United was as a force, listening to Alex Ferguson press conference, and bro, I used to stay up late sometimes to watch that man press conference or get up
Mm.
super early in the morning to watch it. You know what I mean? And Alex Ferguson talking about is either you're with us or you're against us. That is United fans or he's fans of the media, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He put it to everybody one time. You know what I mean? Eric Ten Hag doing the same thing. And at the end of the day, I feel like fans forget that every other fan grew up in our era, you know, with their hands and feet on on their knees, bro. Because why? United was winning everything.
And you
United
know
was
what, Mark?
dominating England. You understand? So
Yeah, and
so
you
a
know
lot
what?
of fans could say that they're objective, but there's rivals, and at the end of the day, rivals,
Nope.
they all experience the hurt. They experience what it was when United was a force, when we used to make decisions, and literally United set all the trends that people love to see now. We were the first team to be scouting worldwide out of England. We was the first team to be, going into the European Cup because other teams was too scared. You know what I mean? So I want to see that type of United, that character that we always had etched into our history. That type of character that says we go and do what we go and do. You could say whatever you want. This is us. You know what I mean? And whether that is, letting Mason Greenwood go or what, just make a decision and stand by it. Because if we don't stand by our decisions, bro, there's nothing we have to hold on. You know what I mean?
Mm.
There's no foundation for anything. For success, or failure. You had to stand somewhere. And the reality is, bro, at the end of the day, is either we go and stand behind this new structure and let them make decisions and see what the outcome is, or we want to make decisions, so we might as well be buy this club, come together
Nope.
in
Nope.
mass, right?
No, no. Fans of
And
cricket, they
go
shouldn't do
fund
that.
me and buy the club, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
No, 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 no.
Can I
Because
say
Fans
I'm
of
something
cricket.
quickly, Mark? I find it. Did anybody see? Did anybody see rumors and or reports of us signing this WILCOX guy before we signed him?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Was the
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
the but it wasn't
Yeah.
as loud, eh?
It wasn't as
Uh,
loud.
No.
Yeah, and normally with United news,
It's be
everything
ringing,
is loud.
ringing, ringing, ringing,
Yeah,
ringing.
we've been
Everything
moving
is
in
loud, right?
silence. We've been moving in silence, bro.
Hectic, and I think because nobody saw the OMAR BERARDA. Okay, Dan Ashworth was a Fabrizio breaking news type of thing. But because I think because Newcastle had to leak it that this guy is actually taking us for a joke. But this WILCOX was like, boom, okay, we signing him. He quit. He's not want no compensation. He's starting. He's literally starting. And I think that speaks to the lack of information the media has, because like if we had to get if the media had to get the information before it broke that the guy's starting, the media could have said, then they will probably write a story. Ineos looking to sign WILCOX. WILCOX to take over recruitment so that so that the new manager coming in don't have to don't have to deal with recruitment of players like Eric Ten Hag. That's an easy story to write,
Hmm.
right? That's clicks, that goes with the narrative, that gets a manager sacked. But because there's no information being leaked as to who we're going to appoint, only to the point where we have a stalemate in a sense of Dan Ashworth wanting to join, Newcastle not wanting to let him go, contract problems, so everybody knows about it. But if we're honest with ourselves, nobody's reporting on these new signings that we're making. Omar Barada, nobody reported. WILCOX, nobody reported. The players that we want, it's all rumors. Everything is rumors. The managers, rumors. Everything is rumors. You feel me? So for me, it's like, okay, that's why I said initially in the beginning, if this is a foreshadow of how we're going to be doing business in the transfer market when it comes to players, then I'm very, very optimistic because then it speaks to the fact that we can get deals done quickly. And number two, the media can't paint stories and write narratives that suits the agenda. They have to go with what's the actual fact. And the actual, because they can't say um, United signed, United wants to sign WILCOX because of this reason or that reason. They have to say United signed WILCOX. You know what I mean? And they can't now paint a narrative as to, okay, this is why they signed him because he already signed. So
And
now
they
on
didn't
what
know.
basis? Exactly. Now on what basis are you? Now they have to kind of, because remember, if they write lies again, then they will get banned from the
Kicked
press
out.
conference.
Get kicked out.
Remember that.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they write lies and they don't confirm with the club, they'll get banned from
Banned.
press conferences. You feel me?
Banned. Yeah,
So
bro.
so now they can go now if the media goes to that's why nobody wrote about this Wilcox because for me personally I think nobody wrote about him because the media went to the club said we signed Wilcox to do this and this is the reason why we signed him and that doesn't suit the agenda. They easily could have said that no he's going to be involved in this area and that department and this department that's got nothing to do with whether the manager is leaving or not leaving. Maybe they didn't like that information. Then they don't write about it. You feel
Hun-
me? So
100%.
so
Can I
yeah.
be
So I
honest?
just yeah, go on.
Nah, can I be honest? I think what's happening here is that United is taking back the control of the media because if you've noticed, there's certain journalists who have been able to break stuff. So I think they've identified probably people that they are willing to work with. But at the same time, these media guys don't know anything. I mean, look at the managers we were linked with during the international break. These guys are scrambling. They don't know what's going on at United and they don't like it. For
Mm,
the first time ever, they don't know. They're throwing anything and hoping something sticks. As long as it's got United, it'll generate traffic and
For
then away they
facts,
go.
for real.
Right?
100%, bro. And just like what Campos is saying here, it's not really in and guys, I really need us to stop saying in yourself because it's the trawler. And saying the trawler keeps us separate from the fact that we are is a two club model right now, guys. So let me just refer it as the trawlers, right? Big up to you guys.
Okay,
No,
okay,
bro.
trollers.
That's very important, bro. Ineos can't be responsible for the two clubs. Else it's a problem. So let's keep it at the trawlers because that is the basis
Okay,
on what
trollers.
the separation. So the interest on is not in their best interest to be leaking information to the media. The Glazer regime was the ones who responsible for that because they love to generate clicks. They made a lot of money generating clicks. You
yeah.
know what I mean? But another thing I wanted to mention, and Stephanie saying it here, because like Alex Ferguson, people like a lot of fans now, the way they talk, they would have sacked Alex Ferguson, King. Alex Ferguson would have been
Yes.
sacked in the second season. We have never win 20, we have never win all the what we win under Alex. Might have
Yeah.
never see a Ronaldo, these kind of things, because why? No Alex Ferguson. You know what I mean? Because here why? In 1999, this was I remember hearing Fergie say this live. I've mellowed, I've got more experience, I've got more authority, and that's all because of success. Let
Mm,
that sink into everybody watching. You know what I mean? I want that to sink in. Read that quote and let it sink in really well. Right now, Ten Hag fighting in a storm in the ocean. And yeah, he have a full crew behind him, But the crew about to get some specialists like I'm an engine man for the room, an engineer to fix the engine. They're about to get a specialist, my guy who's navigate. You know what I mean? They're about to get a guy
mm,
who's a specialist at repairs while at sea. You know what I mean? To repair
mhm,
the ship. I'm telling you, bro. You know what I mean? And then they go and get a specialist headhunter who know how to get the best fishermen and the best sailors to come to work to work on the ship. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It might be some rough waters that we're going through right now. But like we can't hide the fact that we was in a rebuild to begin with. We should be
mm.
going through troubled waters. It's a overachievement situation that we finished third last season. We won the Carabao Cup and we played in the FA Cup finals, getting back into Champions League. I mean,
Yeah.
last season Liverpool finished sixth. But Liverpool are top the league this season, so and bro, Liverpool was getting battered all through Christmas. People was laughing.
And
Klopp
also
was
people
going
forget.
mad. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
So I mean, we are playing poorly, but we in sixth. And you know what somebody will say to that? They will say, well, that speaks about the quality of the teams in the league. So then those that same person
Yeah,
can't come and
yeah,
tell
this
me
is
next week,
really
next week, or 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from now, that the Premier League is the best league in Europe. Because if that speaks to the quality of the league, then we can't be the best league in Europe. If you understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that's mad.
Mark. The thing is that Mark. The thing is that like the Real fans, they just love to push. They just love to push the goalpost away. That's what they do every time. 100%.
yeah.
Well, mental. They say, the trawler is the famous line from, the one and only Eric Cantona. When he said, the seagulls follow the trawler because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Big up. Big up for that one. If you didn't know,
Bro,
that's where Sir
cool.
Jim got that from. He said he was a huge Eric Cantona fan. Next thing you know, you might have a CR7 academy training facility because, he said Cristiano Ronaldo had to be the best player that played for United in what he has seen live. So you never know, guys. You never know. And you know what I mean? Like I had some qualms because he had a Chelsea season ticket. You know what I mean? I was mad at that because,
Well, he was trying to buy Chelsea, so he has to say crazy things like that.
he was trying to buy a lot of clubs, bro. He was trying to buy Barcelona as well. It's one of those things. I don't know if people know that, but it's just,
I think yeah, he was
yeah, you know,
actually yeah.
Can you buy a Spanish club?
bro, the man was trying to buy Barcelona. Just wanted to know. No, no, bro.
Barcelona.
Like there are certain things I will never forget, bro. Because it has certain things, bro. It's like, growing up in my time, bro. I had to say it like that because now it's a different style. Men have 4 or 5 clubs. Men wearing Premier League jerseys like it going out of style. One minute they wearing, they wearing the Arsenal kit. Next minute they on an extreme wearing a Liverpool kit. As a United fan, bro, I could never put a kit from our
I
next
could
Premier
never.
League team on my back,
It's
bro. That's mad.
disgusting.
Nah, that's
Not
crazy.
for not for nothing, not for
This
money,
is
not for a
That's
deal, nothing.
nasty.
That's not nothing.
Yeah.
Men doing that, bro. I know men going to Arsenal games wearing an Arsenal kit, but there's Man U fans, but what you gonna do, bro? Sometimes that's life.
Yay. Yo, that's not life. That is
Nah, not for
paganism.
me, bro.
You could never catch me in the Arsenal red. Oh
Yo,
no.
Bro, you
no,
wanna know
bruh.
something? You wanna know how heavy? And I don't expect anybody to be like this, but my rivalry limit so heavy. Bro, I could never even be a fan of Mo Salah, bro. Like sure he do good, but I will never say he's a good player, not out of my mouth, bro, because you know why as a Manchester fan. And it's the same thing with Messi and thing. I not, can't if it's a Real Madrid player, bro, is the only exception. Real Madrid and Ajax. You know why? Because these clubs have good relations with United. And if you ain't had good relations with United, bro,
Yeah, that's
fire for you, bro. Fire for you, bro. I ain't had no time. Nah, bro, I telling you, I being honest, bro. Straight. Because you know
And
what, bro? I just look at it like rivalry, bro. Fans can say what they want, bro. Once is our fans. But when it comes to a rival fan, saying what they wanted and saying how and say and want to have our opinion and claiming neutrality, bro. Which rival fan really want to see United have a dangerous attacking lineup when they know they have to face their
zero.
team? Which
Zero.
fan is a rival fan want to see United have the best players in their starting 11? That's
None
mad
of
to
them.
even think
That's
a
none of them.
rival fan go and give you an honest opinion about United doing well. It's insane.
I would.
None of them. And you know how I know this, Mark? The reason why Southampton as well as Newcastle are pissed is we've got people who are good at their jobs, can work well within FFP, and it's right at the beginning of the summer transfer, so it messes up their plans. No, nobody wants to see us happy. Nobody wants to see us functioning properly. You can see it. They're getting all
Mm.
of their trolling in this season because they know they can smell it. They
Mm,
know that something's brewing at United.
bro, last season, and this is why I want to tell man, right? Last season, they had nothing to say about Eric Ten Hag after the first 10 games. You know why? Because after the first 6 games, we went on a 21 game unbeaten streak, right?
I think. I
As
think
soon
that was I think that was after the I think that was like after the World Cup
no,
probably
but
maybe.
well, you see, the World Cup is it was in the middle of the season, so that's what I could tell you. It was a 21 game
Oh,
unbeaten streak because they had the break for
oh,
the World Cup in between. We was on what fourth? I think we was on fifth, 14 games unbeaten, and then we went on after the World Cup to win. I think it was 7 or 8 games, and we drew
okay,
one,
okay. I think
and
okay,
then lose. So
okay.
the reason
Fair
why I'm
enough.
saying this, guys, is because if you look at it like this, right? After what we did last season, now, mind you, these were the same reporters and medias that was reporting about the Dross United players the very season before. I could pull up
Mm.
the articles for you all. I will be doing a stream about those things tomorrow. Pulling up, I have a few articles I clipped from 2021 from these same media and how they spoke about certain players and then how they spoke about them this season. Just showing that they how biased and sideways that they really are because they're not bearing truth and genuineness. So look at the facts, guys. Until Eric Ten Hag started doing poorly this season, they never had anything much bad to say. Like they were waiting for the moment, and now that it happens, all they could do is say bad things. But think
Mm.
about it particularly. Why do they focus on certain things like style of play and the manager and his her fixation with Dutch players? Is because these are the first things that they would be able to incite fans because some fans don't like to be they have this superiority about the English league that when you hear about the Dutch league or and it's not the Spanish league or it's not really what I mean, they ain't ready
Mm.
for that. And then when you have this manager who just come to this league and he's basically finding his footing at the top club, dealing with a lot of pressure, more pressure than most managers, and even an English manager who was at a club that everyone says functions better than us, has a better style of play than us. This guy couldn't even hold 6 months at Chelsea. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, I think we're not being genuine and fair because
Yeah,
Koch is
it's
not
true.
getting half of the storm that Ten Hag was getting all season, and he's been in 11th for 6 months. At the same time, it's the same thing with this other guy who coaching at Newcastle, Eddie Howe.
Mm.
It's been rubbish for like the last 6 months. They
Yeah,
won a game, the last 2 games recently, and I think the last game this weekend was based off of pure luck and the fact that the PG
I
well
think
was didn't want
I
them
think
to
I
lose.
think Calvin Phillips curse actually helped them win. Calvin
Bro,
Phillips curse.
Calvin Phillips was supposed to receive the assistance of the referee, and Gordon was supposed to be given a red card. I'm telling you, bro. In reality, that's a very dangerous play that
Yes.
Gordon
Yeah.
made. Gordon, listen to. I
Yeah.
want to
Actually, I can
explain it
check
to you
the
like
replay
this,
as
right?
well. Hmm.
When if a player is in the action of kicking a ball, you can naturally see Calvin Phillips' eyes was on the ball, his foot was swinging towards it, and out of nowhere from behind him, right? Out
Yeah.
jumps Gordon, and sticks his foot right in
Gordon.
front of his foot. He doesn't even, if you look at the replay good, his foot
Yeah.
does not even touch the ball. Understand what I'm saying to you? Listen to me. So, in which part of the world, in reality, was he ever in possession of the ball to be fouled?
That's
He was
facts.
never. And
That's
this is
fine.
the problem with football fans. Football fans see a player foot get kicked, and all of a sudden it's a foul. But they don't realize a foul is not only based on if you kick someone's foot. You have to be in possession of the ball in an attacking play to receive a penalty. How could you receive a penalty for a ball you was not even in control of? It's insane. I
And
just watched
that's
that like
why,
football is
Yeah, that
done,
was.
bro.
and that's why, if we want to be successful, we have to be ruthless to the point of also blocking out the noise from the fans because we don't know what we want. We blow hot and cold most of the times. Some of the things we
Facts.
want don't even always work out. We're not experts. There's a reason why these guys are getting the experts to do their job. So United well, not Ineos, the other people,
The troller.
they just need to firm it the same way
Always.
Arsenal firmed it when people wanted Arteta out and just do what they believe is the best thing. And we just need to sit back and let them do their job. My opinion.
On purple card, the new rule was the purple card that is coming out for players who celebrate longer than
Oh no
10
no no! It's a
seconds.
joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Had to be, bro. Had to be, bro. Bro, listen, right? This is why I want to say to fans, right? I'm not going to blame referees for results because ever
Hmm.
since I grown up, referees is make bad decisions, bro. It's always been part of the football game, and football has never been a perfect sport. And this is the beauty of the game. Mistakes
Mm.
happen on all accounts. Players, referees, managers, it all could happen. But when they all on song that one day and they get that beautiful game, it's amazing. You know what I mean? And this ideology that the game's supposed to be officiated perfectly is insane. It's insane. And I just saying it because, like, for me, the fact that they're ruling some players offside for millimeters makes no sense. His foot is 2 inches offside. What reality we live in here, fellas? Like, no, serious, like 2 inches. So listen, so you trying to tell me we paying this defender to run, and a guy 2 inches ahead of him, he can't do his job. So that's unfair to him. My goodness. My goodness. No, like, bro, like when I hear players getting kicked all the time, right? And it's just so funny. And I had to take it up with Papi when I see him again. I'll bring him on streaming, but I feel he afraid. Because I want to bring him up on some charges soon. Because I find when Bruno and some of our players get brutally tackled, you know what I mean? It's like he's expect them to get up and run it off normal. Like, how come these we don't get called for the other players don't get red cards and things? When we tackle a player, how could you tackle like that, bro? Like, come on, man. I feel like
Mm.
some of our fans, bro, and big up to Papi, bro. Papi, real love the
Yeah,
team,
sure,
to be
sure.
fair. Papi, bro, Papi emotions was real affected by that game, bro. Papi was like, I didn't
Yeah,
mean to take so long
He
to end the
lost
stream.
his mind.
And he was like, I'm done. And I'm like, bro, he gonna get clipped for that. My
Mm.
fault, didn't mean to. But at the same time, when I look at it, guys, it's like, in one aspect, yeah, we should be doing a lot better. We are Manchester United, but the rot and the decay at the club has been here for a decade, bro. No way this manager go and get rid of this in 2 seasons. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I just look at it from the realistic process that, listen, this is why I say to you, John, 4 players I want to be sold in the summer. Four. Just four, bro. Any four. You just pick four, right? And sell them. Now, whether that be McTominay, Maguire, Varane, Casemiro, or McTominay,
Any player,
Maguire, Rashford, and Bruno, whoever the four is not my problem.
no problem.
As long as it consists of players who have not been at the club for less than 2 seasons. That's
Mm.
really what I would like to see happen. And for me, that's the best I could hope for as a fan in this transfer window. Because realistically, I think that's the best any fan should hope for. When it comes to the fact that we broke, yeah, even if we could spend 200 million, are we gonna spend 200 million? We want a new stadium to be built.
Definitely not.
You know what I
But
mean?
guys, I just want to say thank you. I need to drop out.
Big up to
Appreciate it.
you, John.
I'll
Catch
speak
you
to you
later, my
soon.
bro.
Hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be see you tomorrow.
Yeah, bro. I'll be up in the morning, 10 at 9 a.m. UK
Are
time.
you,
We'll be there
are you guys
9:30.
doing the so are you guys doing the are you guys doing the stream tomorrow? The Premier League stream tomorrow?
I think Papi might be doing the Premier League stream
Oh,
tomorrow on his
yeah, I'll be
channel
there
following
tomorrow.
one of the
You
games
mean tomorrow or tonight?
tonight. You mean tonight, Sichiv?
I think tonight. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I believe Papi
He's
doing it
way
tonight.
ahead of
He
us.
watching along. He doing a watch along tonight. I think Drex as well. I think I might join Drex's watch along tomorrow. I'm not sure if I go and join the watch along tonight, but definitely, guys, definitely. What
Peace out.
Nah, mental, bro. I couldn't do the stream at 10 o'clock this morning, bro. I had to catch the train and thing, and I kind of make a mistake now and set the timing for 10 o'clock this morning when I really was just to set it for 1 p.m. Now. I apologize. But yeah, I was in another city this morning. I was in Gelsenkirchen, so I just hopped on the
Okay.
train to get there there's a bridge down for under repairs, so you can't take a train straight from there to Dusseldorf because that would take me like just 45 minutes. But you have to take a train to Essen, then take a bus from Essen to Dusseldorf. So it takes like an hour and 40 minutes just to do that. So my bad, guys. Big up for you guys. Sorry about that. West Ham Spurs tonight. I think Spurs are gonna draw or lose. I'm here for that as well. I'm telling everyone, I bet for the teams above us to draw the next 2 games and some of them to lose.
I think Spurs will lose. I think it's either Lucas Paqueta is going to do is he's gonna drop a very good masterclass performance against Spurs, or maybe probably Kudus.
Just
Probably,
don't trust Moise. That's the problem. I don't trust Moise, so I think it's gonna be a draw.
that's what I think as well. I'm more
Yeah,
concerned about what 17 lives, guys. 47 of you watching, guys. If you're on X, smash a retweet, leave a comment, let me know what you're thinking. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. Help the channel grow. I'm on the road to 200. I'm actually trying to get to 500, but you know what? It's a long road. We'll take the time one at
yeah,
a
still
time.
long.
So don't forget to smash those likes and help the channel grow, guys. And yeah, like you guys been saying, like Yali said just now, we love our club. And when we put out a performance like we did against Brentford, against City, against Fulham, emotions will boil over. 100%, my bro.
Yeah, I
And
agree with that.
Ali, I was on stream, bro. I was flipped on Saturday, but I was just trying to keep it tight because, I know guys want to use some of the stuff I say maybe I'm on the fence, but I'm not because, you know what? I've seen it enough, from some of these players. We need to, win against Chelsea, take that lead that Yali's talking about, 4 points clear of Spurs. At the same time,
Oh, oh yeah. I actually. Oh, I didn't know West Ham are 1 point behind us. I didn't
yeah,
know
they
this.
they're,
So,
they're right there. That's because
oh,
we
they
dropped 2 points, so they were 4 points behind initially. Then we dropped 2 points, and they won, so they caught up. But it's a long road. This month of April, a lot of fans. I'm not mad at you because the performance this weekend was not great. But this month of April is a grueling situation for all of the clubs because there's Champions League, there's FA Cup, and there's 2 weeks with 5 match games. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I keep telling everybody the teams above us, there's going to be a drastic shift in the top four come the end of April. The biggest issue is if Man United needs to get 6 points in the next 2 games. So we need to beat Chelsea and we definitely need
I
to beat
actually noticed
Liverpool.
that. I noticed that thing. Yeah, I noticed that. If basically Villa and Spurs, if they kind of possibly lose 2 games, and we might win out 2 games in a row,
We still have a
just
game
like
in
that,
hand, which is
just
one
like
of the
that.
things that I'm not mentioning because we still have a game in hand. Because remember, everyone played match
Oh
week
yeah, true.
29, and we were in the FA Cup, so that game is gonna come back around shortly. And you know what, guys? Like this is why I'm saying if we could win the next 2 games and then we win that game, that brings us on equal games played as all the teams in the top 10. Then you know what happens? Then we are in with a shout because 9 points takes us to 57. And currently, if we get to
57.
57, we will be a point above Spurs, and 1 point behind Aston Villa. And this is in the next 2 games with the game in hand. If we could get those
It's
points,
all in our hands.
it's all in our hands. To be fair, guys, it
It's all
is,
in
and
our
and
hands.
this is why I keep telling everyone, like, listen, I know the performance was bad, but support this team, support the manager, support the squad. We only have 9 games left before the season's end, guaranteed in the Premier League. And if we keep breaking them down online, we're not gonna get the drive from them that we were getting because we were all boosting them up on the road to the Liverpool game. We were all saying we are gonna beat Liverpool. We are all very positive. Everyone online was super positive, and I have to tell you guys, I'm not being overly optimistic, but I'm saying the positivity will transfer. The squad, we all know that they are on social media, everyone. We know this, right? And rather than, break them down on social media so they can see it and be like, because sometimes in games, right, let's be real, when we want the players to find that extra bit of energy, that extra boost, they have to be getting it from the fans. And if they don't trust us to support them or to back them, why are they going to try? You know what I mean? Like some
True.
players don't have that. Some people need other people to help motivate them, while other people are self motivated. It just happens, and always going to be an in between. We got to do it.
We need
You
a
will
lot of in
hide.
betweeners.
I'm not
Yeah, let's say
hiding, bro,
I'll
because
hide if we lose.
I'm not hiding, bro,
That's
because you
why
know
I'm.
what?
That's why I'm Mark. This is why I'm going to do my solo watch along just to avoid Chelsea 10.
Nah, I gonna be there with Chelsea, then, bro. Win, lose or draw, bro. I standing up with the team on this
These
match.
You'll be
Chelsea
there,
Already.
but
fans
like,
with their bloody
well, I
chest.
can't. But he's so noisy, man. He
Nah, nah, true.
Delegates never hide, okay? We're always here. But when you guys lose, we're nowhere to be found. Guess
Hundred
what?
percent.
We will be there and we will
Yeah,
have win. We're gonna
yeah,
beat Chelsea.
yeah. We
Trust
gonna
us.
beat Chelsea, bro.
I'll
I
be there
tell
for
you,
the full
man.
time though.
Let me tell you
I'll be
something.
there for the
Chelsea
full time.
set up the way Chelsea is set up. Their team is ideal for the way we just play football. A lot of people might not get why I'm saying that now, but if you really and truly look at the way they just create their attacks and they just go forward.
Go Palmer
They
FC,
don't
bro.
want us to. And bro, the way we would go through that team, yeah, I just not going to talk too much because everybody will say I'm super overly optimistic.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
we've
Let's
been
just
talking really, really long, and I really was only going to do a stream for 45
leave
minutes.
that for tomorrow.
It's almost double
Leave
the
that for
time.
tomorrow.
But for tomorrow, guys, big up. If you guys have the time, if you guys could come through, it would be cool. I would like to have a stream.
No,
Talking
I'll
about
be here
talking
tomorrow.
about all of these stuffs tomorrow. I will send you. Vegeta. You in the group chat, right, for the reckless business, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, drop my PM number so I could send you the stuff that we be talking about. So in case you want to come on, you would already know what's going on. Now, whenever you want, you could just pop in.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Because I sent you the email already. So once you accept it, you should be able to pop into the studio anytime you want, bro. Once I live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Yali. I think the presser is tomorrow. Definitely I'll be doing the presser with Mick. But before that, I will be live on my channel. And yeah, Vegeta, if you want to come through to the presser after the presser finishes, you could come in and give your reaction to your view as well. Big up to
Yeah.
you, Mental. If you want to do the same, yeah, I'll make it happen for you guys. Big up to all of you on X watching. Big up to all of you in the YouTube. Big up to you, Yali. Hope you guys were having a great time enjoying the stream. Stephanie, big up. Always the MVP of the YouTube world. You know it is. Big up to you, Mental. Big up to you. Big up to you,
Yeah.
GB. Big up to you, Sachiv. Thanks for coming. Big up to John Morgan.
No
We all know, hope his baby got some sleep. He's been talking so much. I'm pretty sure he woke up purposely by accident.
And that's me
problem.
with my son right now. I've got him on my lap because he woke up.
Oh, big up to you guys, bro. Big up to the young Mancunian fans. You know what I mean? The family just keeps getting bigger, guys. You know what it is. So, guys, in final saying, I'm gonna say this, right? With the incoming of Wilcox, it could only spell positivity or something better going forward for everyone. Because at the end of the day, he's already better than what we had previously. And like I keep telling everyone, we have one of the best scouting networks in the entire world. Most of the other clubs, their scouts piggyback off of our scouts because our scouts have all the contacts because they've been doing it the longest of any Premier League club around the world. And you can see it by most of the players that we are linked to, especially the young players. And although they end up being signed to other teams in the Premier League, it's just one of those things where their recruitment trusts the scouting more than we actually trust the scouting. So now we're getting football guys in who probably will trust the scouting a bit more. I only think that could be positive. And I also hope Ten Hag gets the chance to go through, but you never know, excuse me. You never know what happens, but at the same time, Dan Ashworth is going to be incoming, they say, sometime in the middle of the summer or just after the close of the transfer
No
window.
idea what dinosaur at all.
At the end of the day, it's like Yali is saying here. We get Wilcox early, he could have the job as DOF until Ashworth comes in. 100%. Because with
Nah,
Omar there, it's going to be all done, and the CEO would be full on board with that. And Ten Hag has been involved with what's going on with the planning for the summer. So who knows, guys? You know what I mean? It
These
could be
guys have
better than
secret
what we
WhatsApp
think.
groups.
It
Let's
could
be
be all a
honest.
failure. We'll never know until we get there.
These guys have secret WhatsApp groups. These guys are working on the low. Let's be
Hundred
honest.
percent, bro. 100. Don't even come on, man. You know what I mean? When you had to look at these fellas' movements and like you say, Vegeta, all these guys leaving to come to United. Something must be brewing in the background, bro.
Yes,
Something
sir.
big. You know what I mean? So, guys, keep on the lookout. Smash those likes and subscribe. Don't forget to keep that notification bell set because I'm definitely gonna bring in some cheeky news to you guys this week that a lot of people might not be onto just yet. I spoke about some young players that we are definitely interested in signing. Yeah, Yali. I think definitely we're in for Bremer. Yeah, but I don't think we're buying Todibo anymore. I think the focus has shifted from Todibo, but I will bring that to you on Wednesday, guys. Big up to all of you joining. It's been your boy MarkN, MUFC fan, Kenny Fan TV, and Vegeta in the building. Big up to John
Big up to
Morgan
you.
and the Mental Ball Game. They were here early on. You know, we will catch you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a great day.
Peace.